It was starting, so I figured I'd make a video. I'll get copyright claim on making videos if you put music in the going forth and saying someone's better than someone's smarter than someone isn't the way to combat your progress and going forth. If you get somewhere, there's always like a step backwards on anything. Saying that if I played a video game and put effort into it and they write to you originally, you're going forth and putting effort into something, you go forth a little bit farther than and you go backwards a little bit by going forth and say that, oh, I think it's not the person that is on there, but it looks like the guy that I'm talking shit about. Then who is it then? Going forth and like, why do they look us up? Why do they do this? If they look us up, they're going forth and saying all sorts of crazy shit. And then if I step out and like ignore it, like, oh, it must be true then. This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Why is he scripting it on a cue card or something, or writing it and then reading it off? But it isn't like that. If I just basically have no short reaction to things, if I cried and showed emotion at an ER room back then I was for real upset, but I didn't show reaction to my reaction to was things were upsetting to hear people that you trusted or had known. If I had done that to them, would they had acknowledged it as being fucked up? Like if they had like a soundboard prank. This computer might cost a lot of money, but I don't have a soundboard plugged in on either of my shit. I showed all the shit off. I don't have a voice changer. I'm not like leaning on towards like crazy shit like Code Nokia or that lady that had one of those polygon vests and balls attached and making a like 3D image of something. It may seem like my phone and my thing may react to what you look like, but the animals know that if you, I know I eat food as well. Like everybody has to eat something. People are saying you shit, and it wasn't right for them to say that when they have to eat as well, and they eat just as much shit as I do. So going forth and saying that is like fucked up. Saying that COVID was reaction to people going to the hospital and saying that they caught a flu and couldn't get rid of the flu and had a buildup of fluid in your lungs and reaction of taking your breath and all that shit out of a young person. I originally didn't know if I had that, so if I go forth and say I didn't have that and I got a flu shot and the COVID boosters and all that shit, and the girl that I got the COVID shot from originally said that they had literally did shit to the COVID shot where they dunked it in the residue of the COVID thing, and then they said they spit in it. So I don't know what the fuck the thing. I wigged out really bad on it, and I was really sick at the apartment. I mean, I was like, I didn't feel well. I was in myself. I lost a bunch of weight. I used to weigh 230 pounds. I went to 130 pounds to 160 pounds. And I was able to fit in these jean shorts from 2009. 2009, these jean shorts were, and I sat there and had knowledge of having the clothes that I had on back then that I couldn't fit into. Like I couldn't fit into this shit. Like back in 2015, I wouldn't be able to fit into most of my shit. I had gained weight and had gallbladder surgery in 2018, and I blew up like a balloon. Because I sat there and I had done nothing in 2018. I had gallbladder taken out, and I had to sit there and care about my non-functioning gallbladder. But I think I had a functioning gallbladder if I could hold my bathroom all night long. Before at the apartment, I had to walk back and forth to the bathroom and continuously fucking going. Like it was a horrible feeling. Even to this day, I wake up at 4 a.m. and I have to go to the restroom every other hour. And I know that getting old is a sign of it. It's like, it sucks getting old. Like if you sit there and really think about it, aging sucks. But If I drink nothing but pop and didn't drink water there, then how come I catch something else besides COVID and had to worry about my bloodstream in my mouth is contagious? Like going forth and saying that if I walk out somewhere and look perfectly fucking fit and fine, but have shit in my bloodstream that causes things to react to like having the bad hygiene, because at the apartment I didn't know when we left. At the place where I was for 4 years, we broke the lease because it was fucking nasty being in an apartment building with the walls caving in and shit going forth, and really having the bathroom there at the apartment had the vents in it, and you could hear them talking. Like this bathroom here had a vent in it installed. Midway 2011 installed a vent that you can hear people from afar, because there's like a slit in the vent and you can hear the airwaves that should go forth and hear everything. And it was storming. So I had those pajama pants in the background. Last clothes I had a bag of clothes that were, I guess it had smelled like meth and like shit. The guy below us at the apartment building for those 4 years had smoked marijuana or whatever the fuck he was on. Down there are comments like somebody had put, "Oh, you must be on the meth pipe yourself." It wasn't that. Like I showed off everything I had. Like I had no form of way of getting that shit from anybody, knowing for if I wasn't on anything. I was on medications for depression. And I didn't just spiked it saying that, oh, they're going to think that I'm some kind of weird, like the only thing I had took was the Tuda and the high blood pressure medicine and something for diabetics. And I ended up not taking any of that shit for like 2 years. When we moved back, it was hard to getting that medicine from where I was at to where I was at now. Now the doctor asked me if I was getting everything. How was I doing? And she reacted to it like irrational, thinking that I could just get the medicine like that. Like it had to talk to somebody about it, and they wouldn't give me the bag of pills like they think, like a whole list of shit I had to take. And for 2001 and 2002, I didn't take the medicine like prescribed. Like I wasn't on it. I was more healthier without the shit than on the shit. I was more fucking heavier, and like I was sort of like a zombie. Like I was there, but I'm more myself. When I was around people telling me, like this person that I knew in middle school. I graduated middle school. I cut from the background. I had the diplomas you get like for doing like shit that you needed to do to graduate. I had to play basketball for 1 year. I had a basketball trophy. I was able to fucking like pinpoint like the time where I was a little bit chunkier, and then I lost a bunch of weight playing basketball in the hood of people. I was saying like it wasn't that bad. Like it just going forth for exercise more than we played outside, and then we played inside, and then we played outside, and we played inside. They had like a basketball like gymnasium, but it didn't have goals in it originally. But it had goals outside of the school building. It had photographs of that in my original YouTube channel, 2015. That I had people attached to it on this channel. Luckily, it was on my original page. I have the secondary channel that I just felt like I have the 2 YouTube channels, but the other YouTube channel I logged off of because if it gets deleted off, I wouldn't be able to delete that one off. They couldn't delete a page off there on the thing because they don't know the password is on a 2-way verification thing. And I think it's still on the email attachment that I don't have access to. And I had my iPhone, my Pokemon Go account, my PlayStation 3 account is attached to some of that stuff where I can't just like log in with a password. But in the one I had originally, I had a password originally on on something that I wasn't as dark because I don't go out as much. And when I did go out, I was at a doctor's appointment. Like I said, as long as you go to a doctor's appointment, follow up with the doctors, you're not going to be arrested. No matter what they said, it wasn't regular probation. It was just because somebody was parked out in front of our house. They acted cruel and unkind and said some things. And then they just keep talking shit and going forth and saying the opposite of what occurred. Like, I'm not somebody, like, I'm not like 50 people filming one video under one profile. It's not like that. I don't know how the fuck people have like 1 million Facebook profiles and only had one Facebook, and they're trying to delete me off everything by saying a bunch of crazy shit that didn't occur. You could sue them. That's like defamation and slander when you start saying that, oh, this guy has stuff on his phone that he wouldn't want people to see. But I showed him what I had on my phone wasn't bad. Everybody fucking slips up and does something like fucking funky at one point in time, but making a mistake like saying that people are accusing you of telling you a bunch of shit, and you had proof of telling you, oh, I was the back of a Crown Vic by somebody that was psycho, and I had proof of it showing that it wasn't the fingerprints that wouldn't match a Crown Vic Victoria when it was a different make and model that we had. I had a job back at that designated time in 2010. I had some kind of other thing when I was going. I didn't have fucking anybody else on the thoughts of my mind having to go forth and exercise during the day and go to a job site and then go forth and have a job. I wouldn't have done all that for some meth addict to say, oh, I think he was a part of a gang and he had gang members when they were school students and he went to a restaurant. This guy felt sorry for him and he fed him and he had an MP3. I had an MP3 player back then. The guy thought it was a cell phone. I'm not gonna say. Okay, I'll say his name. That Chad Barker had people that were jocks and like cars and shit going forth and knowing that this guy was just like a cashier. That he had money, I guess. He didn't even have to have that job. But they felt bad for me and they walked past him. I guess he thought I was God or something, or looked similar to Jesus or whatever the fuck. I was thin. I was like, hey, I was thinner than what I was now. And this guy could show the footage of me not doing anything fucking weird and going forth and having the clothes that I had on back then. I still have the top that I wore there, and I had clothes that I had on that couldn't fit me back then when I was like maybe like 3 years after that. I gained weight and I lost weight again, and I gained weight and I was losing gain weight. I'm not even saying human trafficking wasn't what, because the music industry has people shaking their asses and they don't get paid enough money to shake their ass in front of a camera and then never be seen again. Like, you never see them. I know that girl, like Vanessa Hudgens showed her ass and was on a children's film that I think it was a Walt Disney Pictures, that High School Musical or whatever, and she had shown her backside in front of a mirror, and they had leaked it out of whatever was meant for somebody to see. Like, everybody does that shit. Everybody fucking does crazy shit to, and then going forth and saying, I don't have nothing bad on their phone. Well, they might not have nothing bad on their phone, but if they have security system plugged in their house, if they get undressed to take a shower, if you go to any public place, like if you go to a gym, you could be seen taking a shower inside a YMCA and then seeing people butt ass naked in a family facility, or just people walking around with their asses hanging out, taking showers and shit. You're gonna see some shit. So I don't care what they say about me. It wasn't fucking right to have said that he was the back of a Crown Vic, but no, he makes unspecific videos, and I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I don't have a memory card full of fucking weird shit. Like, I had a bunch of food items. I had like a bunch of food items on a device that I had bought at another state back when I had a birthday. They took me out. And I went to a place where I went to the 90s back then, to Minnesota. And I had a camera that I bought that I had $200 to my name that I had spent majority of it at a rental fucking video game place playing Nintendo Switch. PC games, and I posted on Twitter originally all that stuff, and had a shirt that I had bought because I spelled hot sauce on the top, and I had to buy a shirt because I didn't want to think that was like a klutz. Like if I were walking out to around the places where we went to, there was people there that we had went to an art studio walking around, like, and there was somebody there from Missouri that made Edward Scissorhands and a goat and like a hydra or whatever the fuck type of monster. And I had all that on there. Like, hey, you didn't go forth and like fucking prank you, saying that you're like a million people in one profile. Like you're saying that you're being trolled by somebody if they're thinking that you're somebody that was with you at this house, saying that if I was Leonardo is more heftier than I am, even though he works 9 to 5 and he had worked for a very long time. He should weigh less. He should weigh what I weigh, and I should weigh what he weighs. But it's sad that we live in a world where people can get like a golden parachute and then fuck you over. Like that Yates has a golden parachute. This guy believed in him and had him signed to whatever the fuck label, psychopathic label with the Juggalos and the Insane Clown Posse. They're not an independent label. None of those things are independent if they have somebody spending money on them to be able to sing that shit, and they go forth and show no remorse to it. Like, I don't know how they get away with having children in adult theme like songs and shit. They go forth and having women in scantily clad like clothes twerking when he fucks them beyond the bus and all that shit, going forth and having those people get away with shit, going forth with some fat disgusting Prozac saying he ran up in it, sloppy seconds in the fag and that shit, going forth, and having these people that are on meth real bad. And then like the Cheech and Chong, like they said they smoke all that shit up, and they let all that shit run dry, and then they wonder why people with real fucking struggles get mad at people and end up doing like weird retaliate, like where they fucking like go back and do something bad to them. Like that's why that hung John Soon, what was it, that guy from Virginia Tech, that hung Son Chow guy, he had the Virginia Tech that had said things that he didn't probably say, and he had to film himself looking normal. He looked like a normal dude. He was in the back of his car filming, saying I didn't want to bring this on anybody, but they kept making fun of him. And the Virginia Tech shooting guy, he had a college education, but nobody believed in him, and he had bad people like bad novels and that, saying he wasn't like capable of structuring sentences, but he was in college and had. I don't know how the fuck the Chow family got made fun of by Yuji Naka from Sonic. They said that in the background I was watching that Sam, that guy that has video game knowledge of having those video game characters on film and then going forth and saying that these people reacted to it differently from when I remember playing it. I didn't think nothing bad of it, but then we actually named somebody last name that, you're going forth and wondering, well, I wouldn't make fun of their last name if I was a video game like producer or like person that put all that shit together. I understand why they understand where I come from when the Hideo Kojima made a video game back in 2009. I didn't buy a PSP back in 2009. It was in the bargain bin at Kmart back then. I could have bought one. I ended up buying a Vita because it was last name Vita, and I meant life in Spanish. And Casey Anthony had a tattoo of Vita, so I'm not related to Casey Anthony. I'm not even concerned about how they said I was married to her, and I'm like, well, I'm not married to some fucking weird fucking lady that killed her kid and blamed it on the babysitter. I'm not like madly in love with somebody that I don't know. Like, only one I liked was that Amanda Knox, and Amanda Bynes. Amanda Knox is probably fucking thinking all that shit's funny, but I didn't murder anybody. It was just how, like, she made fun of the person that got their necks slit out, and then by some African American guy went in their exchange student fucking place and like did crazy shit to them. And I'm like, wow, that's fucked up. Like she was there, but she didn't witness the murder happen, and she had walked around in a puddle of blood and picked up items and shit, but apparently there wasn't blood on them, or if there was blood, it dried up, or it's like that Coco Bane where they fucking went in and blasted him. The record label wanted his music and he didn't want to pay for the pay for the shit going forth and being crazy with the person, so they take their information and use it against them. It's like, yeah, this guy I think was slandering this other person, but they're going forth and saying it was somebody else, and there's like 50 people claiming to be you. It's weird. I don't get the Slim Shady Please Stand Up song because like this guy was on hallucinogens and there was 50 other people claiming to be him. And it's like hearing that song from back in the day, and then this guy coming up with some kind of weird like scenario where this person wants to take your identity and they can't go do that because I don't wear glasses 24/7, and when I do wear glasses, I'm not like showing it off, and like I have technicalities and shit going forth and being like if this guy was saying that human trafficking was something, then how come Yates didn't get jailed up when they were on a surrogate soundboard saying it real loud at 4 a.m. and they kept playing some kind of crazy shit somehow in the airwaves, and I happened to hear it and I started crying because I didn't know what the fuck. I didn't know what the fuck I had. Thought, man, I fucking, I don't know what the fuck. I pissed the guy off, and he ended up like No More Heroes anime, where in between the first and second one, he walks past the gay tranny bar and they cut the tranny's head off, and then see the limousine of the Travis O'Grady and Yates, and they're going like the end of the road gesture with the neck, and having this guy survive whatever the fuck, and having them say that this guy was behind people being put away, and then they going forth and making it seem like it was the best city to live in. It was like No More Heroes, but it isn't like that because it's a fictional gang, and I didn't like realize this is a video game. Like a video game could correlate with somebody's life and saying like the Pedro L. Ortega from Sonic from the Sonic team was on the original Shenmue game, but on the other licensing things, like he was like the main person that localized the English translation to Hong Kong or Japanese or whatever the fuck publisher that is, and they made people that had that Corey guy from the original Shenmue game as the English, and then Tom and the Landy sounds like they're all from the Wonder Years. Like the Wonder Years that or the Savage Brothers, they all sound like that slow, agonizing pitch of having a voice, and then going forth and having them like be behind like a sitcom, or sounds like a horrible sitcom idea. Have the dad get murdered for the son, and having the son go figure out why they came at the people at the time. And, I mean, I like Shenmue, but it's not like I played it back when I was like May 19 going into 20, and I played it prior when I was like 13 going into 14. And, I mean, I remember playing Xbox back then. It had a sequel on it. I remember playing there, and somebody walked in and was like, "Oh, I didn't know you had an Xbox." I was like, "Yeah," because I didn't want to play all that shit over again on something and going forward and keep playing it over and over again on something. You don't want to play something over and over again. Like it gets redundant if you have to go forth and just see a last name on there saying, "Oh, okay, I see the last name," and they had contacted me. But I didn't go to the symphony of the. They had came to Kansas City. I went to see Harrison instead. I only could go to one thing, so I went to the band. Had somebody that had last name Roberto, and I had that Christy Roberto was a singer on their like cover songs, and I had somebody that I knew from middle school that had the same name Roberto. So that was the only reason, thinking that they all knew each other. They had relations to her because they don't see that Roberto name as much, and the scantily clad women in that. I'd rather see that than Big the Cat. twerking in a suit and popping shirts off of the air or whatever the fuck they do with those things.
The counter system set it apart from Virtua Fighter 2, and the high-res visuals were just
That ain't play a soundboard feeding people just going for
today and remember the large bouncing breast, but it's so much more than that.
Doing that, those radio distracted people can fucking vouch for having a landline ability to call in at the time and having the ability to call a radio station and winning tickets is different from spending money on their ads. People can spend money on things that I could go forth and be people, but what's they're gonna like ridicule you. They tell you they don't like YouTube because they can post just as much as somebody else can post just as much and only have one view, and then the other person has like 1 billion views because they had to post 2,000 videos. You have to post like 2,000 videos to get 100,000 views. Like I understand I'm close to the 2,000 video threshold of 1,600 some videos. And majority of it is playing video games straight through, like having the Ghostbusters on the PS3, on the PS4, played through that. I got caught up on a part where the ghosts are going in and out of portals, and you have to slam the ghost against the car to put it in, but there's too many ghosts on screen. There's like 4 ghosts you have to capture before you can move on. And it's like the suffering that ties the Bind game that was like third-person action-adventure game that there's too much shit going on at one time, and you go from third-person to first-person. And I think it's made by the same people that had made that game, or it's on the same engine, or I don't know. It looks similar to it, and it plays like that. I remember originally that's what I had played on this secondary channel that I made. I had like 125 views on a live stream, so I thought my live streams got more views. I know I had people comment on things and said that I was a good guy, so I don't know how some people say that other people will not have anything to do with me because of the way I go about like sick sense of humor on some shit going forth, and how the fuck Gilbert Gottfried look Asian and made fun of Godzilla back then, saying that he was a radioactive monster that came out of the tides and blew up reactors and shit. And they put that in a movie, and Chris Tucker even made fun of that shit. And they don't see his ass like Jackie Chan like kicking his, like you don't see any of that shit actually happen in real life. But I just saw a movie, and I thought the Butterfree towards the midway of the Mothra character was funny because they CGI'd a butterfly and it was flying through the air and it had the pixie dust.
Cotton Boomerang is sort of a remix that could be traded.
I stayed up all day and night at the apartment. That fucking crazy guy yelling and screaming, but you don't know what the fuck they're capable of. And they just scream it out loud. Shit, you went forth, they have to be on meth. To be like elevate your voice to like the drowning levels, like fucking scream it out loud. I can't even scream that loud. I'm not on anything. I'm not like, that guy was on some straight up meth. I was like fucking yelling and screaming. I remember I have video of the apartment, but I didn't post it on there at the, like some of the stuff I had still to today. Like I had more stuff with the finger turning colors. I had like a spot on my hand that turned colors. And I ended up going to a hospital. That's where I got thin. I got thin because my body took reaction to it. It took everything I had out of me.
Lucky for us, we did get
I ended up sitting there. I think it's makeup. I think he staged that shit, but the doctor had gotten sicker than the dog had opened my hand up. So I know the doctor had the same shit I had gotten. And I'm like, fucking doctor risked his life for my ass to be here. He wouldn't let anything bad to happen to me, I don't think, because the doctor had prescribed me medicines to take for it. And he's like, oh, you any complications to anything else, if you take anything else with the medicine, you could die. And like, I don't have, other than like 2 pills, high blood pressure and diabetic medicine that I take. I don't take anything else because I don't want to be people laboring and telling you you're a fucking crazy person when you're on antidepressants. People making fun of you, or you're making fun of you, you're going to take reaction. A normal reaction to it is saying that you're offending me, but I can't do anything about it. So I'm on medicine that makes it seem like they can take advantage of you. It's fucked up. Like they don't fucking tell them fucked up shit. They want to point a gun at you and shoot you. But if you do the same thing to them in self-defense, then you get jail sentence. So it's fucked up. They gonna force and tell you some fucked up shit. They don't even know you. They just know who the fuck you come outside for one time and then go back in. You don't want to hear them telling you shit. None of the shit's worth taking for me if I had a reaction to an apartment bong off somebody that smoked meth, and the apartment meth guy down below was yelling and screaming at the apartment. And I had an aunt that used to be in apartment buildings, and she would go forth and every other year and move someplace else. And she would put like tape over the vents so she would hear people yelling and screaming and saying they're on something. And we didn't believe her. We thought she was making this shit up. And sure enough, there was somebody fucking yelling and screaming at the apartment we went to. So it's everywhere somebody will not like you at a place. If you're online with something, they're gonna go forth and not make fun of you on here. But if you go off camera and go forth and eat somewhere, or go forth and go to a mall, you're gonna get pumped and trolled by people. That's why I stopped posting on Facebook. I stopped posting where I was going because I didn't even say where I would fucking go at the last minute, and they would fucking know. There'd be somebody there that knows you from that shit. And they would punk you. I was like, how the fuck do you say it's somebody else when they're getting punked so bad that they have to just stay indoors? Like, I just stay indoors all day, and I was lacking vitamin D, so I wasn't going anywhere. Going forward, I wouldn't go anywhere by myself either, because people would tell you a bunch of creepy shit. Yes, the area is fucking crazy. They have people, you can never be anything in the tattoo. I don't want to be a tattoo artist. I don't want to fucking be a video game designer. It was really promised to me. Or grant writing degrees. Once I got the grant writing degrees, I should have made sure they had made me a programmer or animator or some kind of creepy shit. Like to sort of like tamper off taking these fucking medicines. Medicines ain't worth taking, and people are gonna punk you. You're gonna be on medicines for the rest of your life that just shorten your lifespan. And this shit makes you thin. That guy is making fun of me with the Subaru, works at K Medical Center. If he took these medicines that I was on, he'd probably become like slim and trim. But instead, he's like, oh, you're fucking weird. You fucking go to K Medical Center and go solve your problem. And you go forth, nobody can solve your problem. And you go forth and commit suicide. Yeah, you sure commit suicide, but then you end up at a hospital bed. And people that actually think you're Satan or Jesus or whatever the fuck, because you didn't die originally and woke up in a bed. And like, oh, your oxygen level was low on how your lungs filled up, and I might have COVID, but they didn't describe it as COVID. I couldn't get COVID relief, so I got fucked out of that shit. I could have got COVID relief money back with somebody that had the ability to give you relief fund. But all I got is a stimulus check for $1,500 originally back then at the apartment building that I was in for 4 years. And the thing that I used to have, the Dell had put in the rest mode because I tried to update the drivers to the thing, wouldn't play any video games other than a couple of games that I had prior that I gave to Evan back then. And Evan sold his computer and all the shit. Evan would put the computer back to the way it originally was. I had an account made. And he had unlocked the Dell computer with a friend in Canada that gave him, I think, PlayStation 1 games somehow on a shared account that he had back then. You could share your PS1 games or your video games somehow on a PS3 that he had. He had the Street Fighter Alpha, the Siren games. And he used to play SOCOM with people in Canada or wherever the fuck. He played people online and had somebody that helped him from Canada. So I know that the computer I had
The best exclusive
Dad put it in sleep mode. I never put the goddamn computer. I would always put it in shutdown mode or just shut down the computer and not put it in rest mode. And the mouse was attached to it originally, directly to it, so it wasn't wireless yet. I tried to shake the mouse and the computer wouldn't wake up. It was an orange light on there, and the LCD light had red orange, and it wouldn't wake up from rest mode. I had that computer I had this computer for 5 years. I had the registered under my name with the receipts and all that on it, my email, and fused all this shit together in one account that I had since 2015. I had all this shit since 2015, the account since 2015, and just kept it under an email that I wouldn't be able to fucking like log off because I had all my shit in one email, and I had the other account that I had my YouTube channel originally on a Gmail account that I logged off of, and I had 5 Gmail accounts with that name, so I had 5 channels somehow, but I only had access to 2 and don't know what the fuck's on the other 4. So I only logged into it about like maybe a couple times and logged out of it, had the history thing with the music videos.
And it was a great addition to your Saturn library.
I had people on Facebook troll me, and they don't forfeit just troll me that I'm the lesser of 2 evils. They don't know me. I ain't going to forfeit like transform into the devil or god, like the weird video games they make about Japanese anime characters having superpowers and supernatural shit. I hear shit from afar, but if you're they're saying you're schizophrenic because you heard people make fun of you originally, then that's fucked up. I'm not taking these medicines just to be fucking detained when my parents die. To be fucking put in something and they can go forth and say you're a lunatic, and that guy is more lunar than me if he weighs like 800 pounds and doesn't have a life. It's just they're fucking ignoring them until I film some of the shit and then try to like show it there at the time and place. You can't show that shit off at the hearing I went to. I barely could show my phone on, and they said shut your phone off, and it's basically determined by just the way you look or by if you had somebody that you knew somebody, then they're going forth and they're not gonna fucking let you get put in the fucking pound town if you knew like 2 people. I went to the October 10th date, I went to the November 27th date, and then December 1st we drive past. December 1st you're going to buttfuck prison, I don't give a shit. And I went there and they read it off to just go to a hospital appointment and be vigilant and take your pills. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to go outside and talk to anybody because that gets you in trouble. You start fucking talking to people outside of this, and they're all thinking they're smarter than you going for it. It isn't because they're smarter than anybody. It's because you fucking have people that you fucking know care about you. It's fucking psycho. They don't want to have some creepy bastard. That Matt and Jacob are fucking creepy. I don't get the fuck how they're fucking above the law. They were smoking K2 and they're on meth real bad. You can tell by the way they look. It isn't because they worked out, it's because they're on meth and their bodies fucking just fucking shrink off the meth they're on. They fucking have withdrawals, and guys on meth real bad threatening people and going forth and it just threatens everybody. Think that's the way to fucking be able to do that shit isn't how they go about business in terms of stuff, and the judge isn't going to scream and yell at you saying you're no good son of a bitch, you're going to prison. Like, you have people saying that shit physically to you in real life. They should get jail sentences for fucking mocking people that are living with disabilities or fucking living under a fucking bill that's saying that you don't get discriminated against by the way you look at, but they're fucking way weird and whatever the fuck they're on meth themselves, and had courtroom cases where they bought off the judge because they were selling drugs out of the car, and I'm like, I'm not on drugs. I can piss in a bottle in front of them and be cleaner than fucking they are, and they have to fucking take somebody else's fucking piss and fucking fill it up in a cup and think that they're slick. They go forth and use somebody else's urine, but they put like a tape of bag on their pants and they fucking take the bag of urine out and then fill it up in a cup, or they use somebody else's DNA. That shit, because I fucking physically was there. at the point in time, and I'm mad at Christopher Murillo. He's like, "Oh, you cut up and yours on meth too," and I was like, "No, I'm not. I don't have money for meth. I'm not on meth. That man Jacob are on meth real bad."
It's absolutely stunning, and what I expected from a 32-bit two-dimensional game.
I'm not afraid of them. They touch my ass. They come up and swat this house off people that they have themselves. They can get physical fucking trouble for having false statements. I was in the back of a Crown Vic when I had a job equivalent of a job to go to back in 2010. How the fuck was I a child rapist if I don't have like my long fingernails? My long fingernails. I had broke off these fingernails, but I didn't have nothing under my DNA, like going forth and like doing them, like saying a bunch of shit. They're doing things when they're doing things themselves, and they're doing things wrong by saying that. They bogus shit. My Aunt Frances worked for the police department. They said they can't put bogus shit on you. They can get in trouble for putting bogus shit on a person. They put bogus shit on a person, they can get jail sentences too for putting bogus shit on a person. They're putting bogus shit on you, they can get in trouble for that. The only downfall is I drink pop. Drink a bunch of soda pop. No, I'm not on meth like they are, thinking they're better than people because they're on meth and they think they're the best meth addicts in the whole wide world because they smoke a bag and sell it for higher than going forth and they can go bowl somewhere with meth bags, big ass bags of diapers and deliver the huggy diapers with meth in them.
That meant the list was fairly short of the very best looking.
That guy screaming. I had on video on my old channel. I had this guy screaming hysterically, and he was on meth real bad. He worked at Union Station. Devin had delivered packages off like a front that he had delivered Huggies diapers with meth in it. That was all based on Matt's weird fucking like weird meth like thing where he would sell meth out of his fucking car. And he would all sell that potpourri shit. And they probably got like I probably got Roofland originally, got Roofland or whatever the fuck. Roofland, like the hangover brewer, the guys on the roof. Like they Roofland my shit. I got Roofland, I was sicker than a dog. My ass never took any of that shit. Like, man, I actually too is gonna be like, I'm gonna start working out. So if they fucking lace your shit, if say that guy made a casserole, he made a casserole of cheese and broccoli. Whatever the fuck he had made, it got me sick because either that or the guy smoking under the washroom. There was a vent under where the shower is. It goes directly to your fucking housing or whatever the fucking. You could smell that shit. And I'm like, oh god, who the fuck's doing that? And I've seen these people to this day still do that shit. They got Vincent Mosquez died because they probably laced his shit when he smoked a bong. This shit fucking smelled real bad. I don't have a bong. I don't have money for weed. I have video games. I'm not on anything. I'm not on meth. So my teeth may be bad because I ate shit that was laced or went to a bar or whatever the fuck and they put bourbon. They could put bourbon sauce on your shit and do God knows what to it, and it starts wigging your body out. So technically I ate shit, but I don't know how. Somebody said everybody eats shit. In order for animals die in COVID, I don't know what the fuck COVID is. COVID's like SARS somehow. COVID was created before this shit that even happened. It was just like a virus strain that was contagious that could fuck your body, you could stop breathing, or it has like blisters and shit on your feet and hand. And I had that shit originally on my hand. I had like blisters and shit on my hand that had the ability of having them like test it and say it was like a staph infection. Staph infection is like hugging somebody or being around somebody for too long. I was around Evan for so long that he had blisters on his hands too, but I never got those weird swollen weird things would puff up and shit. And he would always like go to the woods and travel, and like he traveled more than I had. I only went to Ohio, Iowa and Minnesota back in 2009 before that thing had happened with COVID. And I'm like, well, COVID happened. There could have been people there that traveled and had that. But I didn't know at the time. Like, nobody was reporting it. I remember that not Amy Winehouse, but that Elizabeth Maxwell, that Maxwell lady from Nintendo, said she already got paid to be in a video game. And she said about the COVID. But the way she had explained COVID was it wasn't contagious, but it could wipe out an entire like community or whatever the fuck. Like she talked about it a little bit. That was 2018. So she knew about it before it was an actual fucking thing on the news. Like she was talking about it. Like when I reported her, it wasn't on purpose, but just was trying to see if they would say anything. And I stopped going to Comic-Con after that because I didn't want to get in trouble. I had filmed Elizabeth Maxwell from Nintendo. I had filmed her. I only paid like $15 to go talk to her. I didn't take a photograph with her, but I had her on film.
And that's possible. Want to challenge yourself and make every battle a satisfying tactical victory? Choose a weaker troop type and play.
I just keep the screen door locked in it. They ain't gonna come bust up somebody's house after COVID. They had weird infection that somebody laced their casserole fucking meal that they made for them. Or I thought it was. I got sicker than a dog after that. The guy had blisters on his hands and shit. Going for from really knowing. Like he was thin at that point in time, but now he kind of gained weight. And he had COVID. So he had COVID. I had staph infection, wasn't COVID. They could have just told you that. I thought I had makeup on, and people that were really like, I think you to be fucking telling you that, and then going forward and actually being in the ER, and not going to the hospital bed, and like staying there is a different story than. Then I had an infection. They like, oh, you're infected by your bloodstream infected. And I'm like, oh fuck, what the fuck? So I had to take antibiotics for the longest time, and then my mother would walk past here laughing like Ursula, saying, "Why do you take him to a doctor? Because it's fucking COVID, you creepy bitch." Animal force to be a psycho. That bitch looks weird. Animal force, she's like Satan or something to be able to fucking act like she knows everybody. And they were doing the same shit they were doing to me, and they ended up hurting that guy. I ended up hurting Danny Vasquez. I remember seeing him in 2015. I should have thrown Evan in the crowd with them. They were making fun of us and shit. And back then, I didn't really want to go to the 2015 Royals gathering. So it was too many people there. They were talking like smack at that, and went forth and like really being noticed by people that I didn't have. I should have filmed that and just posted that on there, and then there's nothing else. Instead of the 2000 some videos, or close to 2000, I should have just filmed that.
And even thousands of dollars thanks to collectors discovering the console.
I had these Gene Swords in 2009. I had photographs. I got a computer that didn't have anything bad on it because the computer tech would have told us or to stop us from fucking taking the computer out of the thing, like having the computer turned on and off and wanting the videos on it to be transferred. I'm not no sex offender, fucking psychopath. I don't have nothing bad on my fucking shit. I shouldn't have them, but I shouldn't forfeit don't have anything bad. In 2020 is a long ass time ago. It's like 5 years ago. Like the Cheech and Chong where they smoke meth and they think all sorts of shit because they're on meth real bad. And I'm not on meth, so they're gonna badmouth me. I'm not like spending money on their meth lab habits and saying that I'm not like smoking up a bong with them and cutting up like Christopher Rose. Like, oh, he cut up like the rest of them. He was on meth real bad. Not on meth or anything. No fucking prescription pills is fucking ate meth. Just for people who are to get sick of that going forth and having COVID. It's worse than any of that shit. And they still to this day will talk shit